Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is the Super Nerd, and today I just was kind of thinking in my brain, like, what am I going to talk about today? I felt like I needed to post, and now I'm posting this video. This video is going to be just sort of a rant about how much I love this sort of unknown RPG that isn't like completely unknown, but like it's a very niche tabletop RPG. That could just be because it's super new. Like I think it's only like maybe a few months old. So like this is a very interesting type of role playing game. That of course, if you've been on my channel before, you probably know that I made a video explaining the different social classes of Planet of the Apes society. All the gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, and what they entail to the ape society. And one of the things that I used for information was the role playing game of the Planet of the Apes core rule books. And that gave me a lot of like info and lore on the apes in question. So I just kind of wanted to rant about that. It is a RPG that is pretty niche that very little people really know about. And again, like I said earlier, that could just because it's new or because it uses the classic series Planet of the Apes, which is more old, more definitely more niche. Like, don't get me wrong, the Caesar trilogy is loved by a lot of different people. You don't really see that many people talk about the classic Planet of the Apes that much, unless they're kind of just referring back to it with the Caesar trilogy in comparison. So it's like So you like classic Planet of the Apes. It's had some books and most comic book crossover with the classic series. So it's not like the classic series continuity is dead, but it's definitely kind of taken a sort of down point a little bit. So one thing that I really like about the classic series Planet of the Apes is how unique the world feels. It's a very like almost self-contradictory world that's very well within the nature of the series and kind of what it entails. Like the apes are these really primitive agrarian people, but they're super sophisticated and like even have technology that is comparable to like the late 1800s or early 1900s. So there's like a little bit of contradictory to their nature, their archaic style of living mixed with this regalness of like their society and philosophy and structure. So I always found that really cool. I also liked how the apes were like aliens. Like I know in the actual like book they're aliens, and I really do feel like even though the classic series departed from the book in that sense, it still kept that sort of alien nature of the apes and how the apes feel less like talking animals and more like an alien species that has evolved and has culture and has a society. And that just really is cool to me. So when I found out that Planet of the Apes was going to have a tabletop role playing game, which is something I really love. I love tabletop role playing games, probably my favorite hobby. And when I saw they were going to make a role playing game based on it, it's using a modified version of the old D6 system, the same system used for the original Star Wars role playing game and Ghostbusters role playing game. I was like, okay, this looks interesting. And this is like just around the time it just came out, like a year after the Kickstarter finished. So it finally released out. And I was like, okay, this looks cool. And I'm like, but I want to check. Is it classic or new series? Because if it was new series, I probably wouldn't have been that motivated. It's not that I don't like the new series, it's just that the new series is admittedly less creative, less cool, less visually distinct compared to classic series Planet of the Apes. The new Planet of the Apes are basically just James Cameron's Avatar with monkeys, which it works. It works. Don't get me wrong. It definitely works, but I definitely do think classic series has a sort of unique identity to it. And when the role playing game has this established world that you don't know a whole too a lot about because the novels are super like niche, it was really cool because now I can finally experience the classic series Planet of the Apes more than what we just saw in the first five movies. So it got me really immersed into the world. So I got the books. I was really excited. I read through them at school. It was really fun. And I just kept reading through, trying to understand the rules. Ran some scenarios with my friends and family to see like if it really works for me. And I do think it works for me. Don't get me wrong, there were speed bumps. There were still some rules I still needed to like didn't really fully understand, as I am mainly and sometimes begrudgingly a D&D 5e player, so sometimes I kind of have to like really just leave behind that D&D self and really just get into new systems and learn what they are. And I do find that these systems made specifically for these worlds work better than any just D&D 5e adaptation. That's really something I wish my friends would finally realize, that D&D 5e is not a universal system. If you guys want to play a game that can role play multiple different things, we could probably do like basic role playing or the D6 system. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or Savage Worlds. Like, there's so many other like systems that I think would fit their play style, but they just want to play D&D. So it's like, yeah, side tangent there, but yeah, I think the role playing game in the Planet of the Apes is really unique in how it adapts the D6 system, because obviously it can't officially license the full D6 system. It can do is like use the bones of the D6 system and reference Western Games as the creator of that system. So the publishers, Magnetic Press Play, apparently they have their own version of the D6 system that they used for, I think, their original RPG. I don't remember what it was called, but they use that kind of system. And basically, the only meaningful difference is that the wild die is a little more like intricate, and mechanical and technical traits are combined, which makes sense. Like, I feel like that really simplifies things furthermore. And and if you want to know more about the lore and the apes, just watch the movies or watch my video on Planet of the Apes Society Explained. So, like, if you're not familiar with the D6 system, it basically is just like you use XP that you earn to level up how much D6 you roll to be any sort of DN or armor class or roll against you to like succeed in conflicts and and dangerous situations and things of that nature. So that is basically a very versatile and flexible system. Like, theoretically, if you wanted to, you don't even have to play an ape or a human or a mutant. You could play a robot if you really wanted to. You can even be like a creature from a different universe that got teleported to the world of Planet of the Apes, theoretically. Because also, there isn't really a class system in this game. It's a classless system. It uses archetypes, which are kind of a combination between background and class, but they are more of just example statistics that you can borrow from. But really, you can make your own archetype for your own unique character, and that could entail something not ape, not human, not mutant. So, like, I thought that was really cool. That if you really wanted to, you don't even have to use the world of Planet of the Apes for this game system. You can just run a post-apocalyptic sci-fi campaign with this game system, without or with apes, or you can switch out zombies or something. Like, that's what I really like about this game, is that like it offers a really good and really easy flexible post-apocalyptic role-playing game system, or a more grounded sci-fi role-playing system. You can theoretically play a interstellar campaign with the role-playing game for Planet of the Apes rule system, because there's so many statistics for like spaceships and shuttles and like the NASA files. And that's just really cool to me because like even though it's mainly for Planet of the Apes, I think it succeeds in allow getting people who aren't familiar with the series into it because it has other things to offer them for people who may not be fans of the original Planet of the Apes. So yeah, I just think this is a really cool role playing game. I am surprised no one really talks about it that much, and I wish more people would play it. I do have a Discord link in the description below to actually run a campaign, the official Into the Forbidden Zone campaign, with a couple surprises made by yours truly. And yeah, that's just about it. See ya. God bless you guys.